Hey, everybody, it's CJ Graham. That's right, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Part 6. And you're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall.
Recording. I'll go ahead and start recording now that all the funny shit's out of the way.
Because I'm telling you right now, between Mike and I and all the years we've been in pro wrestling, we could find midgets that'll do this. But we'll do.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
The first time we do a live con and we do this, yeah, we'll put them on a trampoline and everything else. But we will dress up the midgets as Oompa Loompas and we will dress Mike as Willy Wonka. You, me, and Don will toss the midgets to Mike for him to catch, and
Yes.
Serenity is the one that has to be the eyes for Mike and tell him if he's got to turn left, right, high, low.
That's got to be some quick communication right there.
Yeah.
There's only so
He's on
far
your
you can
six.
toss a midget. They don't have a lot of hang time.
Well,
Depends
on how high you throw him, Don.
That's true. I'll have to hit the gym a little bit. Just to make it weird.
And then the ultimate payoff to this is that if this works on the first convention, the following convention we'll rehash it. But this time they'll all be dressed. The midgets will all be dressed from the Lollipop Guild, and Mike has to dress as the good witch. No, the good witch.
The good witch. Okay, Linda, gotcha.
What are you assuming about Mike? Come on, he might want to be the bad witch. Come on.
No, I think he'd look prettier in the
better.
I think he would look prettier in the nicer.
Well, we're thinking safety for the midgets to be tossed. He's got to have that big puffy dress.
If you guys can't tell, welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. I am Christopher Stolle. I am joined by Don Smith, Serenity Stone, and returning to our show for the first time in months, the man, the myth, the legend himself, iPhone.
I bet Mr. iPhone.
Mr. iPhone.
Mr. iPhone. Here I am.
Yeah. We'll call him Ife for short.
I'm just glad to have him back.
Yes, we are.
I'm glad to be back.
You?
Huh? Yeah, because I don't put my name in. I just log in as an iPhone. I've had one the whole fucking time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So there you are. We're back. We're in full force, and now we're sponsored by by Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
So, back from the grave. Even he enjoys our show. Not really. But you know what he probably would enjoy if he was still alive? I bet he would enjoy the news buffet. Don, take it away.
Because who doesn't enjoy the news buffet? And we're going to start off right. We're heading straight down to Florida today because you don't get better news from Florida. It's not unusual for rocks or other debris to crash through a windshield and injure a driver or passenger. But a turtle? A 71-year-old woman riding with her daughter on Florida's Interstate 95 suffered a gashed forehead as opposed to a four-headed gash. Suffered a gashed forehead.
That's the old headbutt. Yeah.
A gashed forehead Wednesday when a turtle smashed through the windshield of her car, striking her. The Daytona Beach News Journal reports the daughter pulled over and got help from another motorist. According to the 911 recording, both were surprised by what they found. There's a turtle in there. The man can be overheard saying, "A turtle?" the daughter exclaimed. "An actual turtle?" The gash drew a lot of blood, but the woman was not seriously hurt. The turtle was likely crossing the interstate and got knocked into the air by another vehicle.
No, it wasn't. Master Splinter's a dick.
Yeah, I swear to God, this lady has the worst luck of anything, the daughter told the 911 operator as she tended to her injured mother.
Master
I think
Splinter.
Mario and Luigi know how to take care of those.
Exactly. All they needed was an Italian plumber. Well, that's actually what happened. There was an Italian plumber kicked it.
A turtle to the gash usually produces a lot of blood anyway.
That's
so
true.
You know
at least for a few days of the month.
Oh man. Oh Lord.
Jesus.
Welcome
like I
back,
said,
Chris.
we're
Here we
starting
go.
out right.
We went there.
Hey, anytime there's a gash that's producing blood, you're probably going to go there.
Well, wait. If the gash is
Hey.
producing a lot of blood onto the turtle, does that make it fucking like turtle soup?
Actually, the turtle was unharmed. The turtle, on the other hand, had the best luck of anything. It just had a few scratches on its shell and was released back into the nearby woods.
Yeah, it's wearing body armor.
It got back to all its brothers, Raphael, Michelangelo,
Right,
and Leonardo. And was like, I told you it was fucking work.
Cowabunga, dude.
So meanwhile, he's the fastest recorded turtle in history now, right?
I would imagine, maybe. Yeah, to go through the windshield, that takes a lot.
You know what? We may have solved. May have solved the mystery right there. This could have been the tortoise and the hare 2.0, and the hare's like, not this time, motherfucker, and booted his ass.
Yep, and the turtle still won.
And that's it.
Yep, because it hitched a ride.
Good.
This is an.
We got to the gas first.
We've already passed that. Planning on getting some pot to celebrate 420. The cannabis industry is fully down with that, but many insiders have a special request. Don't refer to it as marijuana. I don't know why. Although that's been the most popular name for the plant for a century, cannabis insiders, including Daniel Maida Hayden of extractioneering.com, an Oregon-based pot brand, think it should be dumped. Any term applied to cannabis other than cannabis is negligent and abusive behavior that we abhor. Hayden said the term marijuana is a Mexican slur, although it is tolerated when combined with the word medical for special purposes. Medical marijuana. The term marijuana originates from Mexican Spanish, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, but it was used by racist politicians who first criminalized cannabis, precisely because they wanted to underscore that it was a Latino, particularly Mexican vice. And that word, with all its implications, has become the most common name for the cannabis in the United States today.
It's really funny how the PC culture is rewriting history even as we speak, because the Spanish word for marijuana is mota. You dumb motherfuckers! It's not marijuana.
I really wish this dumbass motherfucker who wants to argue the point about using a term marijuana or pot or anything other than cannabis would pay that much attention in school and get a real job.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking.
He was obviously high when he thought of this.
Honestly, and I know that I'm sitting here right now on the panel with somebody who partakes in cannabis a lot. Do you fucking care what it's called?
Absolutely not. But seriously, the Mexican or Spanish word for it is mota. It doesn't come from marijuana as a term that was actually applied by like the CIA or counter drug culture in the 1950s and shit. It doesn't have anything to fucking do with Mexican culture. You go to Tijuana and say marijuana, they look at you like you're crazy. But if you say mota, they know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. So this guy's
that's good to know. Let me write that down.
Yes, please.
He's planning.
I'm gonna do some traveling. I'm gonna do some traveling this summer. I don't know where I'm gonna end up. So
if you're gonna go down to Mexico and get some supplements, and make sure you get your mota. For the midget tossing, Don, you need supplements to help you with the gym.
Absolutely.
Can I give a one little thing since we're on marijuana right now? Yes, I said it. Fuck you, asshole. Since we're talking about marijuana for a minute, can I speak on something that is very close and dear to my heart after this weekend? This weekend I went to a vape shop like I normally do to pick up my juices and stuff for my mod, and they were giving away free samples of CBD. And I don't have an issue with CBD. I don't have an issue with it at all. But my issue was they gave me a free sample of a grape flavored gummy bear that was supposed to have 40 milligrams of CBD in it. My knees didn't hurt. It took a minute for it to kick in because I guess I had to digest it and all that. But that gummy bear was the nastiest tasting fucking gummy bear I ever had. If you're going to make a weed gummy bear, at least make it taste like a fucking gummy bear.
Well, that was CBD. That wasn't weed.
Yeah.
The difference. The difference is whenever you're dealing with THC cannabinoids versus CBD, the CBD is an extraction from the THC. It doesn't have anything to do with getting you high.
I wasn't worried about the high. My argument isn't the high. My argument's the taste. It tasted
but you can't say weed.
Whatever. It shouldn't taste like the
And
plant.
don't call it marijuana because apparently that's racist now.
Yes, you slanderous motherfucker.
I will slander anything that is a purple bear and doesn't taste like grape. That's all I'm saying.
I will not wear my purple bear suit.
I just don't think that you care much about the flavor when you are taking CBD because the benefits outweigh whatever nastiness the flavor is. Medicine doesn't always taste good. So
I'm really curious about that though. Was that was your first experience with like a real CBD pool, right?
No, that was my first experience with an edible CBD thing. The first experience I ever had was
and
actually
how quickly did you feel relief?
It took a good 30 minutes before anything.
And then how long did it last?
Fast.
Well,
how long did it last?
I didn't pay attention to how long it lasted. I can give the experience from the first time I ever tried CBD, which was actually a dropper that you drop like 2 drops under your tongue.
Yeah, the old sublingual shit. Yeah,
that was almost instantaneous and lasted at least an hour. But this gummy bear, it took a good 30-40 minutes for it to kick in. It tasted like dog shit, and honestly, I don't think it lasted that long. Like I did get relief, but I didn't time it, but it didn't feel like it lasted a long time.
Yeah, I've never tried the CBD. I don't know. I have tried edibles. I'm not a fan.
So to answer Chris's question, I've done the dropper, I've done the vape pod, and I've now done the gummy bear. And thus far, the gummy bear is the worst one.
I think I've done the gummy.
So
bear.
whenever
it's a pretty good show title.
Don, whenever you did the edibles, was it just too much, too fast? Whenever it picked up, is that the deal? Because I know you smoke,
well,
so
it didn't do shit. It made me
really
tired. That's all it really did. Is it made me tired, and it made me tired for like 12 hours. Because the next day when I woke up, I was still groggy as shit. It's like, well, that's no fucking good.
So yeah, I guess it depends on the experience that you're looking for, because the best thing to go with is a sativa, which is more of a body buzz or a speed buzz. Because whenever you take an edible, you're processing the THC 19 completely different. It's being processed through your liver instead of absorbed by your lungs, which gives you a completely psychoactive response. So it depends on the type of weed that you're ingesting that way. So if you did it that way and you were still groggy 12 hours later, you had one hell of a fucking dose. You're really fucking high. It just wasn't an enjoyable high.
I just slept. All it really did is it just put me to sleep.
I will argue.
Yeah, I took some ones that it just KO'd me. I just passed out.
I will argue the point only because, and I know again we just got done talking about THC is different than CBD, but I will argue that point as edible versus inhalation, because I've had the magic brownies. And they work fine.
All right, well, back to the news.
And they work fine.
Police in Florida said they captured a lemur spotted wandering loose in a neighborhood, but another of the primates is still at large. The Davie Police Department said Friday that a lemur had been captured in the Southwest Ranches neighborhood, and a second lemur is believed to have still been on the loose in the area. The lemurs were first spotted Thursday in Cooper City, police said. Police said they have not yet determined the origin of the animals and are asking the owner of African primates to come forward. The captured lemur was taken to a licensed facility for care while the investigation is ongoing. So now there are loose lemurs in Florida.
Look, they got the free sample gummy bears too.
Yep. That's why they're moving so slow.
That's it.
Lemurs are
boa constrictors.
Lemurs are legal to keep as pets in Florida with a permit from the state. Officials said the owner of the escaped lemur could face a citation if they are found to have been keeping the exotic pets without a permit. So,
Are they expecting the lemur to tell on the owner?
I'm thinking they got him in for questioning, and
Yeah.
they found out he actually
The
is.
lemur's going to be like, "That's the guy." Yeah.
They found out that the lemur that's still on the lam has been chucking turtles through windshields on I-95. They've solved another crime. They just don't know it yet.
He hasn't eaten in a while, so like he's got no poo to fling.
Yeah.
Right. Give me a turtle.
Give me a turtle. Things fly
Very
good.
typical for Florida.
I can hit a gas from
he's-
500 yards.
He's like,
You see what I did to that? I tore that bloody gash up.
he's like, I'm skipping rocks across the highway. Yeah. For distance. Yeah.
Lemurs are
Mhm.
fucking stupid.
Yes, he's a turtle sniper.
That puts a totally different image in my head. A turtle sniper. Is that who, like, when you have to circumcise your newborn baby boy, is that who does it? The turtle sniper?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, come on, you got to be envisioning a lemur in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, but if you're Jewish, a turtle sniper is called a moil.
Oh, Jesus. That's a turtle snipper. We got to lower that turtleneck.
Yeah. Yep, get rid of that turtleneck altogether. Wow,
Where do we go fucking wrong with this show? Seriously.
You
I
let me
came
on
back.
it.
I think we took wrong in the news buffet as soon as we start. Wildlife officials in Iowa said the oldest known female muskie in the state was caught after 20 years, apparently dodging capture nearly 2,000 times in that time frame. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources said the 46-inch female muskie was caught in a Fisheries Bureau net 20 years to the day after the last time it was encountered by officials. They're apparently tagging your muskie now too.
Yeah.
They're cutting down your turtlenecks and tagging your muskie. That's what
Oh my God.
the fucking government. That's what they're doing to us right now.
That you want to know where your tax money's going? We're tagging muskies.
Not a euphemism. The 25-year-old fish is the oldest known muskie living in Iowa waters, officials said. The fish, which was 33.4 inches long when it was first netted, managed to evade nearly 2,000 capture attempts during those 20 years.
Dude, I don't know. This whole entire story feels fishy to me, and I forgive the pun there, but I mean, like, it sounds like a fisherman story. Like, I caught this fucker, and he was this big, and in reality, he caught like a minnow that big, but there was no pictures, no evidence,
But it's been 20 years, so obviously the luckiest fish ever.
It sounds to me like they're trying to put out there something to get fishermen to come to that particular lake or stream to try to find this old muskie. They're trying to build a legend. Yeah,
A muskie just put something totally different in my brain, just so you know.
Same here.
Like,
right? Tagging a muskie in Philadelphia is going down to Kensington and Allegheny and picking up a hooker. I mean,
exactly.
Tagging a muskie.
Something about this doesn't smell right. That's all I'm going to say.
I
think
wish
they're trying
we had
to lead
more
us.
stories about bloody gashes.
I think they're trying to lead us into a different direction. It really feels like a red herring to me.
Let's go on to something more intelligent.
We have those.
No. Michigan woman nearly lost her vision last week when she mistook a bottle of nail glue for eye drops.
Oh my God! Does this go with the girl that fucking put Gorilla Glue in her hair?
I think so.
Jesus Christ.
The woman, Yasedra Williams, said she went to sleep with her contact lenses in, but woke up at 1 a.m. and wanted to take them out because her eyes were dry. Williams said she reached inside her purse and grabbed what she believed to be eye drops. Instead, Williams took a similarly sized white bottle of nail glue, which she typically used to repair broken fingernails.
Oh, geez.
That's what it's for. Williams told her husband when she realized the mistake. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh my goodness. And it dropped in my eye and I tried to wipe it away and it sealed my eye shut. Williams said, I just started throwing cold water and I was trying to pull my eyes apart. But I couldn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the first words that come to mind for that is, "Oh my goodness." Yeah.
That's
You
exactly what came to
motherfuckers.
mind.
Yeah.
Yep, golly. Oh, geez. That's,
Gosh darn it. Yeah.
I am all thumbs.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I just should have seen that coming.
Oh man, the question I have is she gonna sue the nail glue company? Yeah.
for putting their glue in eye drop size bottles.
Jesus Christ.
I have to say they're similar, but like one is supposed to be different shapes. Like, aren't they shorter and fatter for eyes and long and thin for nails?
Are we still talking?
We don't know.
about-
None of us look like we actually repair our nails, and
Right.
everybody's wearing glasses. So I don't think we're the experts on this. Have you seen that at Walmart? If you go to a super Walmart, they actually have a Gorilla Glue hair gel bottle now.
Do they really? I've not seen it.
No way.
They really do, and it looks like a sex toy used for the anus. Is the way the bottle looks like. It's the most horrific fucking thing you've ever seen in your life, and it's got a big gorilla with the slick back
I
hair,
want one.
just like the chick from Atlanta. It's got the same fucking hairdo, and
Hold on,
it's
hold
this
on.
bottle.
Serenity, you
Yeah,
want the
it's
actual hair gel or you want the gorilla butt plug? Is that what?
I
What's the
want the
grill?
butt plug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was hoping that's the
If you're
direction.
gonna do it, do it right.
Hey, look. I know people watching this stream, watching the video right now can't necessarily see, but does anybody here in the panel, since we all know each other, does anybody in the panel find it ironic that the baldest motherfucker in the panel is the one that is telling us about the hair gel by Gorilla Glue?
I think he was just.
You know what makes the story even funnier?
That's the closest he could find.
No, what makes the story even funnier is I was at the store with my new girlfriend, and we were standing in the hair aisle for about 25 minutes. We're looking at shampoos and all this other stuff, and I'm like, do you realize how ridiculous this looks that you have me standing in the fucking hair products aisle for the past half hour smelling all this shit? And the one thing I come across is the fucking Gorilla Glue that looks like a fucking anal suppository.
That's great. That is awesome.
Yeah.
You should have bought it. You should, knowing you were coming back here, you should have bought it, or at least taken a picture of it.
I will for the next show. I will make sure that will be my new still photo.
There you go.
Is the
That reminds me of a time an ex-girlfriend of mine forced me to go to Rite Aid to pick up pads for her. And you know how guys normally are. It's like, I'm not going to pick that shit. I didn't care, man. I walked in, I grabbed it, like, oh, you need Superflow? Okay, I got Superflow. Go up to the counter, and I walk up proud as a peacock and set it on the counter, and the girl's looking at me, and I looked her dead in the eye, and all I said was, I just don't feel fresh today. She didn't know what the fuck to say after that.
Yeah, I've never quite gotten the embarrassment of a guy going to buy those. Like, who really gives a shit?
Right? I never got it either.
I bought them for my daughter before. Yeah, I mean, you have to do what you have to do. If you're fucking, like for me, it was always my daughter or whatever. Yeah, it's, it is what it is. But some guys are just all tore up about it.
Chris will appreciate this. It is easier to go and buy the pads and tampons than it is as a father to teach your daughter how to use them.
Yeah, that's a conversation we're not going to have.
No.
Yeah. Here you go, baby. Here you go, baby. Here's a YouTube video. Figure it the fuck out. Yeah.
That's you porn.
Speaking of unsafe things with your children, a gender reveal celebration that involved more than 80 pounds of explosives
Holy shit.
rocked a New Hampshire neighborhood and beyond Tuesday night. The blast was felt as far away as northern Massachusetts.
What?
Leader reported Kingston
That's
police
what's up. Yeah.
to a Toromeo industry. They found people who acknowledged holding a gender reveal party involving explosives and thought this would be the safest spot to hold it. The police found a container with chalk and tannerite, an over-the-counter explosive target used for firearms practice, sold in kit form at a quarry. The man who detonated the explosive reportedly surrendered to authorities. Obviously, depending on the amount of explosives they were using, it could be extremely dangerous. Yeah, like 80 pounds of explosives.
Yeah, that might be kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah,
looking
that's
at
actually an
that-
ingredient to C4.
Yeah, he was looking to
That's
end.
actually an
that.
ingredient to C4. Yeah, he's like, fuck you.
I wonder if that was supposed to simulate how explosive he was when he conceived the child.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It was a girl, just in case you're wondering.
I actually was.
We gotta know. You always gotta know.
The most explosive pink bloom ever. Yeah.
People are getting dumb with that shit.
They really are. They really are. A buddy of mine, he had to reveal his
what is
wife.
it?
He has a boy. They like the boy's born, but I mean, like the way they did the reveal thing, although I still think the reveal thing is stupid, the way they did it at least was sensible. I mean, he's a baseball player, so they thought give him a bat and they would toss a water balloon, and when he hits it, the blue or green would come. No explosive involved. He might lose grip of the bat and hit somebody, but that's about the extent of the danger.
Is it really a gender reveal party if something doesn't blow up?
I guess not. I guess not. I don't know. I'm done creating children, so I guess I'll never know.
Yeah, I have not created any, and I'm happy to say. And most of the world is happy.
And we're all better off for it.
Exactly. Yep. The whole world celebrates that I do not have children. A Florida nurse inadvertently broadcast herself giving a patient a butt injection while waiting for her virtual court hearing to begin. Miami Herald reporter David Oval posted a screenshot of the bizarre Zoom court on Twitter Wednesday morning. We've reached peak 305, Oval wrote, referring to Miami area code. Someone appears to be getting a butt injection while appearing in a virtual hearing. A spokesman for the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office told Fox News that the woman administering the injection was Nierka Aguero, who is charged with third-degree grand theft in the case of the state of
course
versus Aguero. And apparently so she was giving the injection. The person on trial was giving the injection, apparently. That's interesting. The spokesman said during a waiting period prior to the case being brought before the judge, Aguero was in the middle of a procedure that involved a male receiving an injection in the buttocks, which she appears to have inadvertently broadcast via Zoom. Needless to say, it appears that everyone involved in the Zoom court call was surprised, because it's not often that you get a butt injection on Zoom when you don't mean to.
Well, the camera person has to be the same one for the British council guy who was like,
Right. Changing his clothes in the middle.
But seriously, okay, maybe I'm not understanding this correctly. The person getting the injection, was that the one that was going on trial, or
the person giving the injection? The woman administering the injection was Nierka Aguero, who was on trial for third-degree grand theft.
Where the fuck was she that she was even able to fucking inject somebody else? Was she at home? Was like she out on bail or something?
I would assume. I don't know. Maybe she maybe she was just doing it in her spare time. She was doing it in the infirmary at the jailhouse. I don't know.
Is this an attempt for good behavior? I'm passing out COVID shots. I mean, what the fuck?
Right. Most people get them in the arm. Did you take yours in the ass?
I don't take it at all. Fuck you. I'm not your guinea pig, government. Zoom or no Zoom, it's not happening.
If you were, by God, you'd take it in the ass.
That's right. What the fuck? That's just make all of it.
We got you pegged, Chris. It's okay.
In the ass, apparently.
That's what pegged is.
Just getting ready to go to jail. That's all.
She's getting ready to go to jail. Got to figure out how to take it in the ass. Dozens of finches were found inside luggage inside John F. Kennedy International Airport for a second time in weeks. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials said Tuesday. Officers found 40 finches inside a 36-year-old man's baggage on Saturday after he flew from Guyana. Officials said nearly 30 finches were found in the man's bag several weeks ago. In Saturday's incident, the man was not criminally charged. CBP assessed a $300 civil penalty and placed the man on a plane back to Guyana the same day. The finches were quarantined and then turned over to the United States Department of Agriculture Veterinary Services. Black market finches can sell for between $3,000 and $5,000 per bird.
Really?
Used in singing competitions held in parks in the New York City area. Wow. That's
Dude, this illegal immigration is just getting terrible. But my first thought is TSA is really cracking down on them finch smugglers, aren't they?
Yeah, it's rough being in the finch game. You don't know, it's hard to smuggle them in because you can't smuggle them in the prison pocket the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. I mean,
well, that's
Richard Gere did it with gerbils.
I was going to say, I'm sure they have gerbils smuggled in that way too, but the finches aren't going to make it. They're not going to.
Oh my God, a bird in a hand.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, a bird in a hand.
Is worth 40 in your suitcase. Apparently, that's
worth $5,000. Apparently,
yeah, $3,000 to $5,000 per bird for a singing competition.
I have a whole yard full of those motherfuckers every goddamn day.
And you could put them on the voice and make some money.
Yeah, I was going to say, capture them, sell that shit.
America's Got Talent really needs new
market finches.
America's Got Talent really needs new competitional talent. That's all.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And Chris needs a new Harley. So,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll take a fat boy for like 20 finches. I'm down. Let's do it.
You'll be out there talking at the biker bar. They'll be like, how much you got in your sled, bro? You'll be like, 17 finches.
See, I almost think this next article is kind of related to the finch smuggling. First toilet paper, now chicken wings. The owners of Newbie Steakhouse in Pocahontas, Illinois, and E.L. Flanagan's in Highland, Illinois, said they haven't been able to serve chicken wings in their restaurants as usual because they've been dealing with a chicken wings shortage from their suppliers. Owner Connie Richardson said in her 30 years of business, she has never seen this. We had started stocking up about a month ago with a little here, a little there, and we'll just deal with it. If we run out of the boneless, we'll have the option to do bone-in, she said. The Newbie Steakhouse has a deal on chicken wings on Thursday nights. They had to ration their chicken wings on Thursday and were all out of the bone-in wings by 5:15 p.m. I would say if you don't have the chicken wings, how the fuck are you running a deal on one?
Exactly. And I don't know.
Or why not raise your price?
Right. You
don't have to sell them for 25 cents each.
We've just been telling people that if they call, they will be rationed, and we will ask that they switch over to boneless for tonight. I guess that's kind of like playing for both teams. You're going to have to switch over to boneless for a while, honey.
I don't know. It sounds code to me to like go to the champagne room in a fucking gentleman's club there, like bone in. Right. We don't got no boneless tonight, but we got bone in the back.
Yeah, that sounds like something you do in a poker game. It's not all in. It's bone in. It's bone in. That's what.
Liquor up front, poker in the rear.
So there you go. We have a wing shortage at the same time we have to smuggle in finches. So I think they need to work out a deal there.
It tells me what buffalo wings really are, finch wings. That's what that guy was doing. He wasn't smuggling to try to get $3,000 to $5,000 he was trying to save them from the fucking sauce, the buffalo sauce.
Exactly. That's probably why you can't get the good singing finches in America anymore. We've turned them all into fucking boneless wings.
That's it. Fucking thanks, buffalo wings. And Mexico.
years ago, it was out in California as a place. It's a Chinese restaurant that my wife actually used to eat at when she lived in San Jose, was actually busted because they were substituting their chicken wings with pigeon.
Nice.
They were catching stray pigeons
So
and serving them as chicken in their restaurant.
And nobody complained.
because of this and because of this and many other stories like it is the reason whenever I go to a Chinese restaurant, I only order shrimp because you cannot fake shrimp.
Finch penis.
And that is the news buffet for what it is. That's all we got.
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth. That is my time here.
Well, we want to thank.
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's it. Yeah, we got to thank Don, because nobody can, bring up Finch buffalo wing penises like Don Smith.
That's what we do here. It's the Lord's work.
It's the Lord's work. This one must have been a good one because Serenity has been on silent the whole time. She's like, I don't even want to comment on this.
Well, we wondered why Melissa hasn't been back.
Yeah, right.
She did one show and she made it through one news buffet. It's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of person.
That's it. Yeah. This is what happens when you leave the short bus unattended.
Exactly. It gets hit by a turtle. Which was thrown by a lemur.
Which was thrown by a lemur. Good Lord. You know what? I need to come back to some sort of reality. Hey, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've had the opportunity of announcing this. Let's jump into What's Your Effing Deal, where today I'm going to ask Chris Rudder. He's got his own stuff to bring up, of course, but I'm going to start him off by asking him plain and simply, what do you think of the new Mortal Kombat?
So I think a lot of people are really trying to take a deep dive into something that has zero to little substance as far as its source material. Like, everybody's looking for there to be a deeper, darker message or a deeper, darker plot twist or whatever, like this incredibly layered depth of writing that comes from something. Like, have you seen the actual source material? Because I still have a Genesis in my closet and I have the original Mortal Kombat and it's nothing. So everybody's like really trying to pull all of this shit out of it and really take these deep messages out of it. There's too many fanboys who are really investing a lot of there's just too many people who are really trying to invest a lot of mental prowess in explaining what they saw on screen instead of just appreciating it for what it was. If everybody had actually put this much thought into Enter the Dragon, then Bruce Lee would never be the legend that he currently is. This is something that you're supposed to enjoy for what it is, for the action that it's able to provide, and just take it at face value. Buy the ticket and take the ride and shut the fuck up. And there's too many people who are just really investing way too much goddamn thought in this, and it's unfortunate for the people who are putting all the spoilers out on Facebook and all that stuff. It's a great movie for the action sequences that are in there. You're able to see a lot of the stars of Mortal Kombat, the game and everything, and be able to actually pull something from them from your original video game messages or memories. Depending on what age you are, maybe some of these 20 somethings are so caught up in Mortal Kombat 6 or 7 or whatever fucking iteration that we're on right now that they think everything has to have a real deep storyline, but that's not what Mortal Kombat ever was. It wasn't that way until the past 5 or 10 years. It was just a fucking fighting game. And to turn it into a movie.
I'll ask this: was the movie at least better than the original incarnation of Mortal Kombat, or even worse, was it at least better than the Raul Julia and Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter?
It was way better than the Street Fighter, and I think actually because the way that they were able to make some of the characters so true to the original video game as far as the special effects and the CGI that you're able to see. I'd say it's the best one in the franchise. There's a couple other ones that they really try to get creative to give you some backstory and everything. But you're talking about an hour and 50-minute movie where they're able to do backstory, plot twist, and character development and the fighting sequences all in the same time and make it all congruent with each other. And I think they did a really good job with it. There's just too many people that are putting too much fucking thought into it, man. Like, this is a franchise that has the ability to go 5, 6, 7, 8 deep. Give it fucking time. Chill out.
These are like people that have taken too many literary theory classes and they have to find meaning that just isn't fucking there.
Yeah, too many film theory majors or whatever the fuck, and it's like, dude, just fucking calm down. The source material is a video game from 1993. Chill the fuck out, I think they did a great job with it, and there's a lot of people who are taking it way too serious. And I understand, with MCU and DC comic movies and everything, everybody really wants to put this thought into it, but you're trying to mesh a video game concept with 70 to 100 years of comic book origins, and it's not the same dynamic, and people are just going way too fucking deep with it. I think they did good with it. I'd give it an 8.5.
Well, look, I mean, I would personally, I would compare this movie, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but I would compare this style of movie with the Fast and Furious franchise, which is proof you could have brain dead movies and still make a universe or a franchise out of it. Mortal Kombat will be fine without having the deeper meaning because people enjoy Fast and Furious, and there's zero meaning in those movies too. Yeah,
I haven't watched any of those ones either.
Right, and the only thing that's redeeming for Fast and the Furious is that every third movie has a love story in it. Other than that, the rest of it is just fast cars and fucking muscles. And so, it is what it is. But, everybody, that's an original concept, though. Fast and the Furious is.
Well,
that was an original screenplay, an original concept. Hasn't been, but I mean, the difference there is whenever you're dealing with an original concept brought to screen and you're dealing with something that its source material was a video game from the early 90s, it's like, come on, man, like, how much depth do you really need?
Right, because that was before video games really had plots.
Well, right, because
exactly.
one of the greatest first person shooters of all time, Doom really had no
you just run and shoot them.
You were an angry Marine killing a bunch of demons from hell because they killed your pet bunny. That's literally all the story was. And if they ever made a real decent Doom movie,
still more backstory than a lot of new Hollywood movies anyway.
That's true. But I'm saying if they ever actually made a real Doom movie and not the fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson one that was horrible, that's all I need for a backstory. Kill his fucking bunny, let him get pissed off. It's basically John Wick with demons.
Yeah,
it is.
It's going to be something where somebody kills a bunny and then goes after revenge. That has to be Nick Cage. He has to bring back his character from Con Air.
That's right.
Worried about that fucking bunny.
Are you talking about Face Off?
Yeah, no, Con Air. He was like,
Con Air.
I need you to put that bunny back in the box.
Which, of course, Con Air, I always just refer to that as Forrest Gump goes to prison.
Yeah, with Face Off, you're thinking of is he was obsessed with peaches. He could eat peaches all day.
Yeah.
I could eat peaches for hours.
Yeah, and you're talking about the original Michael Bay launching vehicles, and whenever you step into Hollywood with these kinds of things, and you get given this script and you get given this unlimited special effects budget and everything, so what are you really worried about, the actual screenwriting or the teleplay, or are you really worried about the booms in the background? So all of these movies are the exact same thing. And you get these little snapshots of really cool caricature lines, like Nick Cage saying, put the bunny back in the box with that stupid Southern fucking accent, which he tried to recreate in Treasure Hunter and all that shit. Yeah. Whatever. But back to the Mortal Kombat thing, I think there's a whole lot of deep thought being given because people have too much fucking spare time. on their hands right now, and I think in a few years it'll be looked back on as a really good launching pad for what's probably going to be a Hollywood powerhouse as far as like a movie series or an actual trilogy or however far they take it.
Yeah, I think it was badass. It was a good movie.
All right.
Really was.
I haven't watched it yet. I've been, like I told Don before we started recording tonight, I'm on the fence about it because I've been watching people's reactions to it, and the people.
Yeah, ignore all of that and just watch it, bro. Just watch it for what it is.
Which there's nothing wrong with a time wasting movie that's fun and blows a lot of shit up.
Yeah,
I can get totally on board with that. Not everything has to be a deep, meaningful use of
exactly. And there's just too many fanboys that you're seeing on Facebook who are trying to attach this meaning or the storyline to it, and it's like, bro, calm the fuck down and just enjoy it. You buy the ticket and ride the ride, kind of a deal.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even that. And I'm not gonna go into more detail than I did with Don beforehand, but like the people that I see doing it, it's those people that are saying they enjoy it. They're the people that I really wouldn't value their opinion to begin with, and then the people that say that it's a meh at best are the ones that usually are the film critics. So
right.
That's why I'm like fencing it. It's like, well, people I don't respect say it's great, and people I usually respect are going, man.
And I guess maybe I come at it because I review TV series and all that other stuff, but I always do it from a different vein on how predictable it is. Is this watchable? Is it rewatchable? What if I watched this series once and I liked it? Would I watch it again, or was it just a throwaway? And so I always look at it that way, not from the film critique point of view. I'm not trying to be avant-garde with anything or try to come up with some crazy opinion on things or do fan theory on shit. So, that's why I'm not just like it. It's worth the watch. Is it going to be something you're going to watch 10 more times? No, but it's worth the watch.
So it's not worth the price of HBO Max.
Well, HBO Max comes with a lot of other things, but I mean, it's worth one watch at least. I promise you that you'll enjoy it if you don't try to read too deep into it.
What am I supposed to read deep into? The last time I played Mortal Kombat, it was still a stand-up arcade game in a 7-Eleven.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my fucking point. Yeah.
But what do you got for us for the what's your effing deal today? I kind of took you off track with the Mortal Kombat thing.
No, man, I appreciate it. It gives me an opportunity to bring in something else. But I've got two different topics for this week. I've got a show that I believe that everyone should watch, and I have a show that I think everyone should avoid. So this week, appearing at number 6 on Netflix's TV shows is Life in Color. And it is one of the most amazing animal documentaries you're ever going to see. It's not the usual National Geographic, usual suspect bullshit. What they've actually done is they've actually looked at how all of the colors in the animal world actually correlate with each other and work together and work against each other, in regards to prey versus predator or mating and all of this other stuff. And one of the things they've done with it is they've actually brought photography that allows us to see things that only the animals have been able to see. So they're able to show you footage of these animals in a way that we have never been able to see before. So this is actually like real, never before seen footage of animals that you would think are everyday. Like insects, they see things in an ultraviolet way of light. And whenever you go into the ocean, some fish see things ultravioletly, whereas their predators don't. So they're able to distinguish amongst themselves, but their predators can't actually see them because of the way they blend in. And all of this other cool shit is just an incredibly, really interactive way to be able to look at nature in a really cool new way as far as technology is able to bring it to us. It's not the usual National Geographic narration type of show. It's a new product. So I've
seen that advertised a few times. Been wanting to check it out because I mean David Attenborough is fabulous anyway.
Yeah, you can't beat him and the way he narrates everything. And he's on his last probably 3 or 4 huge documentaries if we're lucky. And he's somebody who's been part of the BBC and National Geographic landscape for the past 25 years. tigers, and he's just a mainstay. His voice is attached to all of these narrations whenever you watch a nature show. But the way that he goes through this, and you're actually able to see him read, whether it's script or he's just talking off the cuff, and you're able to see, like a poison dart frog, you're able to see a fucking tiger hunt, and him explain how their colors actually work in the world, the way animals see them, not the way we see them, the way other animals see them, is a very unique take on it. And I think it's just it's a must watch if you are any kind of a fan of nature. It's something that will really open your eyes on something that you may not have seen before.
Well, see, you sold me on seeing it through the eyes of the animals, because like I've watched a lot of documentaries where they explain why tigers have striping the way they have it and all that for camouflage. And I've always known like snakes, like their colorations are able, one of the ways you could tell if they're poisonous or not. And of course,
but that's just for us, not the way they see each other.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've seen those documentaries over and over again where they explains how, the camouflage and the markings and all that and how it works. But what sold me with what you're saying is seeing it through the eyes of other animals. With like, sake of argument, like dogs are supposed to be colorblind. So seeing these things through the eyes of a colorblind animal is interesting. As a person who is colorblind, and I've watched the entire series since it came out Friday already. I binged it all this weekend. As a person who is actually colorblind, but seeing how a dog sees something in their colorblind way, there's a huge difference between monochrome and colorblind. Right.
And, so, whenever I was growing up, all the way until the second grade, I was almost put in special ed classes. Like they almost treated me like I was learning challenged because I couldn't learn my colors. There's a huge difference between you put a whole bunch of different blues and browns together and I can't tell the difference between them. That's what a human sees for colorblind. What a dog sees is almost monochrome. And that's a huge fucking difference for somebody who's colorblind like I am. To be able to see this shit, it's very exciting and it's very cool because you're able to see the ultraviolet color spectrum. You're able to see, how the sunlight affects the depth of the waters and how other animals or fish see each other in a way that for somebody who hasn't actually been able to see these discernible colors, to be able to see it for the first time, like me, I was just amazed by the show all weekend long. I thought it was great. I give it a 10.
Well, right on. I'll check. I'll definitely check that out. I mean,
what age range is it for?
What's that?
Age range.
Is it like family? Is it for like family, like young?
Oh,
kids,
it's totally family from 6 on up.
Yeah, I can't see David Attenborough going on a cussing page or anything.
Yeah, there's no violence or gore in it. You will see some hunting scenes, but not the takedown. Yeah, it's totally family friendly from the ages 6 on up. Yeah,
that's what I figured Serenity was meaning, was like watching a gazelle get taken down and ripped apart, or something.
Right? No, you don't see any of that. No.
Yeah. Ooh, I'll check it out then.
A lemur throwing a turtle at a.
Right. That's family friendly, just not so much for grandma.
And then the other show that I wanted to bring up to everybody's up on everybody's radar here is it debuted on Netflix as the number 2 most watched show in America. It's called Mortgages and Marriages. So basically, what they right off the bat, this show on my show on What's Your Effing Binge, I gave it a hashtag dumpster juice. It is absolute fucking filth. So basically, I don't know who the people this is marketed for. God bless them and Godspeed. But I don't know who these people are. But I want to know why. Why do you fucking exist? Why are you still watching these shows that are a combination of The Bachelor versus, Love It or List It and all this other shit? So basically the premise of the show is that you get to look at the show and you get to look at this house, and all of these houses on the show are basically, like Cape Cod dream homes, Los Angeles fucking bungalows, houses that you would never turn down. Right. But you get to look at the listing with somebody who could be a potential match. So your option is to either take the house and the mortgage or take your potential match in a marriage. And I'm telling you,
that sounds like crap.
It is total dumpster juice. I would not even recommend this to anybody who likes The Bachelor. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody who watches 90 Day Fiance. This is total filth. And the crazy thing about it is it debuted at number 2 most watched in the US. And by the end of the 10-day cycle on this, it had already dropped off the top 10, which what that really tells you is this is specifically targeted to a specific demographic. There's a certain segment there's a certain segment of the population that watches these kinds of shows every time they drop, and then those people watch them, so it gets absorbed very quickly, so it looks like it has a lot of views, and then as soon as they watch it, it's completely out of the news cycle. And this is another one of those shows, and it's just
it's made for the people that binge watch fucking Simple Life with Paris Hilton or fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's complete dribble and materialistic bullshit.
It's definitely candy and human debris on a never-ending parade cycle. And it's just one of the worst shows that could possibly have come out. But because the fact that it debuted and was watched so instantaneously by the segment of people, at the end of the year, it's going to be viewed as one of the most watched shows in America for the year of 2021. That's one of the crazy things that I wanted to bring up with this is whenever you look at Netflix and Amazon and whenever they do their year-end reviews, it's not like the Oscars where they actually review somebody on their artistic interpretation of the role that they played, or the fact that it was a great movie, or the director was great, or anything like that. Netflix and Amazon really skew these things because the way a show was instantly absorbed. Yeah. And it's part of the pop culture or the social media culture, which then turns into cancellation culture.
Right.
Because the fact that I review it this way, there's a huge segment of people who watch my show. They were like, "Oh, but I fucking loved it. I'm going to cancel my subscription to your show." And I'm like, "Fucking cool. Don't ever come back."
Yeah, right. Did I hurt your feelings?
I wish I could tell you how much that affects me. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Please sit on this and please know that I do not care. But those are two shows that I think you have the top end of the spectrum, true great cinematic experience. If you have like a great fucking sound room in your house or a great fucking TV, a 4K TV or whatever the case is, you have to watch Life is Color. And then if you are not looking, or if you have watched a whole bunch of fucking series that you love binging and you're looking for something new, for the love of fucking God, please avoid marriages and mortgages. So that's this week with What's Your Effing Deal.
I really don't get the coalition outside of materialistic. For example,
that's what it is. It's all topographical information.
That's all it is. How my brain works. You got the girl who's looking at the house. It's a multi-million-dollar home. She's got the money for the home, but her potential mate is also looking at possibility buying that home. So now she's going, do I want the home or do I want the guy that I know has the money to afford this home?
It's video peacocking.
It literally is like basically him showing his bank account to her.
Right. Or vice versa.
Not love.
Because it's usually the woman who selects the mate. So, if you put these two together, that's why Bachelor works on the degree that it does, is because it's the woman who selects the mate. And so, whenever you look at this kind of show, it's like I said, it's peacocking on a video level at an epic fucking scale. It's just horrible. And the Me Too, with Me Too going on, how the show is going, it's like, how fucking condescending can you actually be to each other? And how can you, this is like double talk at its finest in the middle of the Me Too age. It's just so fucking, it's just bad theater.
On the opposite end of the coin, and I really hate reality TV shows. I do. But I do have to admit, I'm getting ready to sit down and watch this because it just looks phenomenal. And I don't mean marriages and mortgages. No, not that. I've got to dive into The Floor is Lava.
The Floor is Lava is an incredible show that shows you how social media works at a very dynamic range, where people are actually brought into. This is the Tide Pod Challenge generation at its finest. This is actually an entertaining way to look at why these Tide Pod challengers and all these other fucking stupid idiots do what they do. But this is done in an actual entertaining way, where it's actually a kids game that's turned up to an epic scale, where these people do like flash mob versions of The Floor is Lava and why it psychologically works. That's actually a very cool documentary to look at, if you're looking at the psychology of how society is made up. That's actually a cool one.
So I'll give my review on that when I binge it out, but I do intend to check out The Floor is Lava simply because of the fact I played Floor is Lava as a kid. So I kind of want to see it in the big scale. To me, I'm hoping it's kind of like watching Wipeout. You know what I mean?
It's not that
or American
entertaining,
Ninja or something like that. You know?
Yeah, it's not quite that entertaining for the crash and burn aspect of it, but it is very cool to see how, you know, because there's apps out for this game where you're able to map the floor that you're looking at and in real time score how people react to The Floor is Lava. That's a very cool technology in society kind of deal.
Well, tell me this much without spoiling. Tell me this much without spoiling. Is it at least as entertaining as like watching like Double Dare?
Yeah,
the original Double Dare,
because it's like this flash. It's like this flash mob deal where everybody knows they're going into this area, and all of a sudden the game players are like, the floor is lava, and it's like this really fucking funny thing where people wipe each other out, knock each other off of benches, trying to get up off the fucking floor. It's really cool. It really is. And the way that they do this in this flash mob kind of a setting, I hate to keep using that word, but that's the best way to describe it, is it's really cool, very interactive for the people who are involved in it, because everybody knows they're going to the mall, and at some point between 3:15 and 3:45, somebody's going to call the floor is lava, but they don't know when. So they're like, trying to be around these little areas where they can be safe and all this other shit. You see people wipe each other out up against the Zales fucking display in the mall and shit. It's pretty funny. It's a very cool show.
Nice. Well, that's it for What's Your Effing Deal, guys. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Now we're going to go into After Hours, and After Hours is going to be not as funny. Well, maybe funny. I mean, with this crew, it'll probably be funny.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're upset about something that's going to be funny for us.
That's it. Normally I try to keep After Hours lighthearted, but something happened this weekend that just royally pissed me off. Jen and I were out doing our weekly shopping at a Walmart, a local Walmart. Nothing special there, but as we were doing it, Jen had just ordered a book from Amazon for $5. One of those Buffy the Vampire Slayer novels or something, and she got it for $5, whatever. And as we're shopping, she gets a notification, and I will read the notification for you, just so you guys know. She got a text notification. Let me pull it up here. Order confirmed. You paid $2,349.99 against an LG OLED TV. Order number ID, blah, blah, blah. And if you did not call, if not, you call now, and they gave you an 800 number, right? For Amazon. Well, she called it because we didn't order a $2,000 TV, nor would we. And of course, we were given to Indonesians and everything else. And they were arguing with her to the point that she was crying because they were refusing to give her back the money. They were giving her the runaround like, no, we can't cancel it. You have to go to a distribution center or a third party place to get a card or something like that to do it. And they had her so upset that I got on the phone. When I got on the phone, they hung up on me 3 times on her phone. Call back, hung up, call back, hung up, because I was asking for a manager, to the point that they no longer answered the phone when I called, like they had a caller ID for the cell phone that I was calling from, that I literally had to copy the number onto my phone so that way I could call and get a response. And they continue to fight us in every way, shape, or form, giving me the same spiel, got my blood going. I'm pretty sure this was a scam. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Amazon. However, the customer service of it and going under the ruse of Amazon and the fact that Amazon has not handled this, if they take this money out of her account or whatever else out, we have to do it through the bank because Amazon won't bother with it, or the scammers, which so far we haven't seen the money come out. But it got me to the point that
first question.
Right.
It's got me to the point that I literally want to see Amazon close. I want it gone. I've always been against this online shopping fiasco where people are fucking like ordering their groceries from DoorDash and ordering everything from Amazon instead of going out and supporting a fucking local business to begin with. But after this experience, even if it's not directly involved with Amazon, the fact that Amazon allows this to go on in their name, they need to go. And I'm sorry. I have a deep-seated hatred for fucking online shopping to begin with, and this experience is enough for me to want to see that fucking building fired.
Right. Get out there and support your local businesses like Walmart.
So, I have two different takes on this. And Don, you're exactly right. I have two different takes on
fuck off.
I have two different.
It was late at night. Walmart was the only thing that was open.
Well, the only people at Walmart after 12 are tweakers, so whatever. I'm just kidding.
But they're local tweakers, damn it.
I did have a purple CBD gummy bear. Okay.
That wasn't a CBD then. You had the munchies and went to fucking Walmart.
That's right.
With all the rest.
You're there in your. No, but I do have two different looks, two different things on this. The first one is, so as soon as this is no different than the Amazon gift card or the USPS or the UPS, I'm sorry, confirmation your address wasn't found, or you have an envelope waiting for you, or the IRS.
Nigeria.
Yeah. This is no different. This is just a different iteration of this, looking for people to call and confirm, because as soon as you call, malware and spyware is phishing all of your information off your phone. That's the first thing I would think of. The second thing is if it's been more than a couple of, more than 24 hours and the charge has not been processed, then obviously it was not an actual purchase.
Right.
It was
when you get anything from Amazon like this, always check the order number. Now, the reason I say that is Amazon has specific order numbers. And when you get an email like this, because I get them all the time, like I was telling you before, I get them all the time saying, oh, there was a problem with your payment. You have to call this number to confirm. And it's all bullshit. And
that's the malware and
Amazon
spyware
to take
shit.
care of it, but how are they going to when these scammers are popping up everywhere?
And it's no different.
Usually, the order number is far different from what an actual Amazon order number is.
Right, like an Amazon order number might be H2K blah blah blah. That means it's a TV of some sort. But the the Nigerian prince is telling you that your order confirmation number is 2098 or whatever the fucking case it is.
Right.
So what I would instantly do is I would go to Amazon and I would look at this TV they're talking about, because all of them have an order tracking number before you even purchase it.
If
you're able to see it.
Go to your account on Amazon, log into Amazon and go to your account, you can see what's been ordered.
Well, when we did that, after we got off the phone with the people, we did that. And the only thing showing order as far as like recent order was the book that she ordered.
Right.
And
because the rest was a scam. The whole thing was bullshit. It never was ordered.
That's where I went with it. Yeah, right. That's where I went with it. After we saw that, I made her take her credit card off of Amazon, her debit card off of Amazon. And I told her to keep an eye on it and make sure nothing comes out of it. Check your account every day, make sure nothing's coming out that we don't see.
The only way anything would have come out of it is if you called them and confirmed that was your credit card.
Right. Gave them your debit card.
They don't know what those numbers are.
Right. We didn't give them any of that information.
That's why it's phishing.
Right.
They're trying to get you to call and say, well, this is my credit card number. I want to make sure nothing comes. And then they got your ass. That's what they're doing.
Right.
That's why when they
now they're able to run you up.
when I get those emails that say, oh, there's a problem with your payment method, you have to call here and give us a new payment method. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get me to call in and say, okay, well, here's my credit card number. I don't understand why it wouldn't work. And then they have it.
Well,
and then the other side of it.
Before you do, let me do a quick
real quick.
Okay. Let me go ahead and give the phone number that was attached to this text message, so that people out there, if you see this phone number, which I'm sure it's on an auto dial, it probably changes anyway, but if you happen to see this 800 number, it's fraudulent. Okay, don't even bother with it. After the experience we had with it, trust me, it's not real. And that is 1-844-303-8409. Again, it's 1-844-303-8409. If that is attached to a confirmation email, it's not real, or at least probably.
I get a lot of confirmation. Like I said, I order from Amazon quite a bit, and I get a lot of confirmation emails. I'm looking at one that I got from an order I recently put in. There is no number on there. There is no number to call to confirm jack shit. Yeah,
they never give you a please call back number to confirm. They never do.
Yeah, those are scams. If they're
and that's one of the weird things about this. And the only reason I have so much information about this from like a user perspective is working in call centers for as long as I did. And I did it for Dish Network and also Verizon and also Amazon at the beginning, whenever you were able to call in and place orders. Okay. That's the only reason I have this information. But whenever you're dealing with something like that, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, because back in the day, whenever I was dealing with Dish Network and people placed their orders over the phone and we would ask them for their credit card number to do their $49 deposit or whatever the case is, people would be like, I'm not going to give you my credit card number because I don't know what you're going to do with it. And that's understandable, especially back in that day. This was like almost 20 years ago. Right. But the first thing I would ask anybody is, do you have $1 million in your bank account, Mr. fucking dick face? Then why are you worried about people really stealing that kind of money from your bank account? The second thing is whenever you're dealing with iPhone, if you're dealing with Apple, if you're dealing with Amazon, if you're dealing with Dish Network, these huge Fortune 100 companies, do you not really understand the fact that they have the encryption methods in place to protect you from fraud, because it protects them from fraud? They're the people who are worth $5 billion. You're worth 500. Not right. Being a dick.
No, you're right. But where I'm coming from with this, as far as my statement of like Amazon needs to do something about these scammers, is the same way like the IRS does. Of course, the scammers are still going to be there, but the IRS tells you blatantly, we don't call, we don't give letters. You will be told that you got to come in and deal with it if you're being audited or something like that.
Here's
they put it
the
out
difference
there,
between the two.
They do, so that way if it's deviating from how they do it, it's wrong. Amazon needs to do something.
They do that for a specific reason. The federal government is always liable to be sued.
Right.
For compensation, whereas a company cannot be civilly sued if they're not attached to the problem.
Right.
It's not their problem. They didn't do it.
Right.
It is buyer beware. And you have to
I get calls every
so the federal government does it that way.
Yeah, I get IRS calls every now and then telling me that there's a problem with my social security number because they want me to call and give them my fucking number. And I know it's bullshit.
Right.
Well, I'm like that with any.
There's a phone number attached.
Right.
I'm like that with any telemarketer call or call that doesn't come normally. Like a person who's actually in my, call list or whatever else, when they turn around, it's like, I need to confirm that you're who you are. It's like, I confirm that I'm who I am, but I'm not giving you any personal information till I know who you are, what this call's about.
Right. I had a call once from a credit card number for a credit card that I actually have. And they called and said, you missed your payment. Well, I didn't remember missing a payment, but they wanted my information on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, fuck you, I'm not doing that. So I hung up and I called directly to my credit card company.
Right.
And they had no record.
Well, actually, I did fuck up and miss a payment. And that's what pissed me off, that they had somebody call and ask for my information. It's like, I'm not giving you that.
Right.
But you
I
did the
called
right
my
thing in that.
actual customer service number
Yeah.
rather than give my information to the person that called me. Because
Right.
typically, if they're calling you or they're sending an email to ask for you to confirm something, that's usually a fake. That's usually a
It's and like you said to begin with, it's no different than it's just a new twist on the Nigerian prince who has
Right.
$2 billion to give you or whatever. It's no different than that. And unfortunately, because of the way the US operates, we are very subject to these kind of scams because it is buyer beware.
Right.
And that's one of the parts of First Amendment freedom, because you do have freedom of speech and you are able to do these kinds of things. And it's just up to whether or not the scammy is smart enough to keep from getting fucked over from the scammer. And the reason they do it offshore and in these places, like you said, it's Indonesian or whatever the call center was. The reason they do it offshore like that is because they're not subject to our laws. So if they do hit you for your credit card number, what the fuck are you going to do? You're stupid enough to give it to me. And not to be a dick, but that's just the way the laws work.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate. And it's just, like I said, it's no different than, snake oil salesman from the 1820s or the Nigerian prince from the, early 2000s on MySpace.
Yeah,
It's no different. It's just a new spin.
There's so much of that shit out there that you have to constantly be aware of. And that's not even like the legitimate identity theft, because I've been through that shit too, where they open credit cards in my name without me knowing. And I get a letter in the mail from one of the credit reporting agencies saying this, and this was opened. We suspect it might be fraudulent. So right now, one of the things, if you're worried about people doing that to you, you can go to the 3 credit reporting bureaus and freeze your credit, where nobody can open shit in your name.
Right.
Because they can't get it through them. And that's what I ended up having to do. And it took a couple years to get all that shit settled. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
that's a little bit different from the phishing scam like that, but it's a simple situation.
I agree with Chris. I do agree with Chris for what he said earlier.
Nope.
Go ahead.
There he is. Yep, he froze.
And I don't know why my internet is being unstable.
Go ahead and start over, bro.
You're just too unstable.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You're too unstable.
All right.
Those fucking hackers.
That's it. Like I was saying, I have to agree. Yeah, they're silencing me because I'm calling out their bullshit. No, I agree with Chris in the fact that I can't speak for the people on the panel or the people listening or stuff like that. But I've always had this mentality: if you steal my identity, you're welcome to the debt that comes with it. I mean, overall.
Yeah,
that's an American.
It happened that way.
That's a basic American thought, because we believe that we created the problem, or we can fix the problem, or whatever the case is. That's a very fundamental American belief. But at the same time, you have to look at the whole world concept that you're being subjected to. We're not victims, but we are also at the same time, we're also people prey on our stupidity.
Right.
They know that there are those among us who are gullible. They know those are among us who have disposable money, or they know those are among us who have thousands of dollars in their bank account. Yeah, and if you're dealing with a Nigerian twat and your $10,000 is fucking 10 years of fucking income to them, they're just looking for that 1 in 100,000. Yeah. That's all they're looking for. That's the phishing concept that Don was talking about. So this is, and I understand your outrage against Amazon, but they're only using their logo. They're only using their name to prey on you. Yeah. And that's the one thing that
because Amazon is a trusted company in that.
That's exactly.
They're using that to make sure you're confident that you're dealing with a trusted company.
Well, look, I understand, and once I let my anger settle down with Amazon and stuff like that, I understand it's not really Amazon's fault. But going back to what I was saying before everything really clicked out. When I worked as a telemarketer, and I've worked a couple different telemarketer jobs and stuff like that. Back in those days before Obama, who made it free for everybody, there used to be regulations on telemarketing. Like you couldn't call a cell phone, for example. You could only call a landline, or you weren't allowed to call between the hours of like 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. You know what I mean? You could only call between those times. You couldn't call at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever else. There used to be regulations on these things to at least try to limit how much you could be harassed by a telemarketer, and all that shit is gone. I think
Well, because all these telemarketing jobs have moved offshore, so those rules no longer apply. Whenever you're dealing with major
scammers, didn't give a shit anyway.
Right. And whenever you're dealing with, because I worked at a major location for Dish Network and for Verizon, and you're dealing with like 1,000 telemarketing reps. Those places no longer fucking exist. The only thing that exists in America is the customer service option of dealing with an English speaking person. As far as like a sales rep or anything like that goes, that shit is completely offshore. It's all in the Philippines. It's all in India. So now those scammers are doing the same thing that we as telemarketers did 30 years ago, but they're doing it in mass scale because of the digital age. So it's a totally different animal because it's like a mass produced thing, and they have no rules or regulations that stop them from doing it. And they're able to use that 1-844-800 number all over the place because that comes just simply from a telebank. They're just resourcing these numbers.
Telemarketer calls all over the fucking place because you can get a hold of these cell phone companies and you can get multiple numbers that don't have to be attached to shit anymore. And you can route
totally.
You can route numbers through other numbers.
And if you have a VPN and you know how to program that properly, you can make your number look like it doesn't even belong to you. You can make it a completely different number. That's as a consumer. So imagine what these people who all they do is just program different ways to fuck you up. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They have people over there. They have thousands of people who spend thousands of fucking hours and they spend millions of fucking dollars just coming up with these ways to fucking be able to fish this information. Oh, yeah. That's all they do because it's a billion dollar industry. Information is billions.
That much just getting the people that bite.
Yeah.
As opposed to because there's every now and then one catches me that I get close to saying, oh, I could have given them all my shit,
Right.
They're tricky. That's what the con artists, they've been around forever. It's just now they have a way to do a digital con on millions of people at a time.
Right. Yeah, and they're looking for that $1 in $100,000, 1 in 100,000 bite, where that person has $10,000 in their bank account,
right?
And then you multiply that by the 300 million, and then
get it because otherwise they wouldn't be bothering with it.
Exactly, and you're dealing with it. If you know that your success rate is going to be 1 out of a million, but you ask 100 million people for $1 million. Sooner or later, you're going to end up with a fucking $1 million, bro. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
You just got to be willing to take the no.
It's a numbers game.
And it's unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened to you guys, but I'm not a Jeff Bezos fucking defender or anything, but that's like one of the most credible, most defended companies that has the biggest fucking, like encryption and all of this shit. And I used to have this same argument because of Dish Network and Charlie Ergen. It's like, I'm sorry, you just cannot. The U.S. government gets hacked more than these companies do.
Yeah,
they really do. It's unfortunate, but they're not the bad guys. They took out small business. We can have that discussion at a later date. But at the same time, they're not the bad guys in this situation. Exactly. People are just taking advantage.
Exactly. Shop local at Walmart.
Shop Walmart.
Shop local at Walmart.
Shop smart. Shop
at smart. We need an S smart in this world. That'll handle the problem. Let's just get Ash.
That's right. But
Well,
hopefully that diffuses you a little bit, because I know whenever you get on a fucking, you get on the soapbox on something, that they're not the bad guys in this situation.
oh, they're
easy-
the bad guys. It's just they're not at fault for this.
It's easy
Right.
to do with a scam like that because it
Yeah.
does. I mean, it pisses you off, and the bitch of it is there is like what happened with me with the identity theft. There wasn't a fucking thing I could do about it, and you
Right.
talk
You're just
about being
helpless.
pissed off,
Yeah.
helpless, and impotent. That's it right there. And the
Yeah.
best you can do, because I'll be honest, my credit score itself has not ever recovered. This happened like 8 years ago, and my credit score has still not recovered from when they fucking did that.
Well, wait. Correct me if I'm
You know
wrong.
what's
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here. I've always been under the understanding that if your identity has been compromised in the United States, if your identity has been compromised, basically the government will give you a new identity. Not necessarily like you're not Don Smith anymore, but I mean like you get put back in zeroed out status because they can't necessarily determine which part was fraudulent and which wasn't.
They can wipe that
does not
credit,
exist.
They can wipe that bad credit off your record, but your credit score will still be affected with it. Your credit score will always be a slow build up. And that's the bitch of it, is they ran up, probably $10,000 to $20,000 worth of shit in my name.
And somebody
credit score was over 800 when this started, and it dropped down to mid 600s, and I'm probably about 720 now. But I still have not gotten my credit back up to where it was before this shit happened, and that's been like 7 or 8 years ago.
Jesus Christ!
It doesn't work that way at all, and that's the misconception that people are under. And the really crazy thing is, if you were to actually look at it, a credit score system did not exist until 1989. If you look at pre-1989, Visa, MasterCard, all these credit issuing companies, they issued their credit card and the credit ability based on risk capital. That's the reason back in the 70s and the early 80s, they were able to charge everybody 18% APR. And then the government was like, okay, so we have to make a fair trade-off. They did, the federal government actually passed a law that protect the creditors versus the creditees, which would be Don in this case.
Right.
So what they did
I don't care. I already own my home. I'm not buying anything new that's not going to be that big of an expense. So I don't worry as much about my credit score, but it still pisses me off.
Right. Oh, absolutely. It's more
and then
the violation is the need. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, as a man, and they made your woman cry and everything else. It's like this total violation, Yep. And then whenever you look at the situation, you look at the 3 different credit reporting agencies. One uses hospital bills, the other one doesn't. One uses utility bills, the other one doesn't. One uses your phone bills, the other one doesn't. None of them have. There's no median across the 3. They're all independently different, and none of them existed until 1989. Literally.
They're all different.
That was never a thing.
Standards. There are some of them you can freeze your credit for nothing. There are some of them in different states. It'll cost you $10. It'll cost you $5 to freeze and unfreeze. There's all kinds of different fucking rules to them, depending on which credit reporter, depending on which state, depending on a lot of different things. Because that's what another thing that pissed me off is like months after this happened, I wrecked my truck and had to buy a new car.
Ugh.
So yeah, I'm going in with credit.
So you were fucked. Yeah.
But you mentioned about how
what should only be a $5,000 truck cost you $15,000.
Right. Exactly.
No, I get it. I get it. What you're saying about like some of them that charge you for freezing the account and shit like that. That the first thing that popped in my head was ATMs. I have to buy my money from you. Yeah,
because you're not getting it from the bank you put it into, so you have to buy it from another bank because that's a charge for I always
So one of the greatest commercials I ever saw was a guy was going into the kitchen to make a sandwich, and the front of the refrigerator was an ATM machine. So he types in he wants mayonnaise, and he types in that he wants baloney. Then he types in he wants American cheese, and it says there's a surcharge on the cheese. He's like, but it's my cheese. You know what I mean?
Sounds right to me.
It's always been in my head since since that commercial. And I think that was like when I was a teenager and stuff like that. But it's always like, why would you charge somebody to pull out their money? I don't care whose ATM it is.
Because they're making money on your money. And if you're going to take that money out, that's less money they're going to make off of it. So instead of getting the interest they were going to get from wherever they put your money, they're now taking that interest from you because you're taking that money away from them.
Well, I told you what Wells Fargo did to me a long time ago with the child support courts. The child support courts decided they wanted 700 and some odd. Did not talk to me about it or anything else. I was in the arrears at the time. They decided they wanted to take $700 out of me through my bank account because I was doing where I had direct deposit on my paycheck to my account, and they were automatically deducting from the paycheck as it was. So they had access to my account basically. So they decided they were going to take $700. My account did not have $700 at that time, by the way. And so they took it. I wound up in the in the negatives thanks to that $700 withdrawal, and I had automatic bills coming out as well that came out at the same time. Do you think Wells Fargo said, no, there's no money in the account, we can't take that? No, go ahead. Now I'm like $1,200 in the hole, and they fucking gave me the overdraft, $35 overdraft fee on each and every one of them.
Yeah, that's banking law. That's just the way it works. Whenever you sign up for a savings or a checking account, you agree to those terms, and it's fucked up.
But they can screw themselves with those too. I have a story about that I'm not going to tell on here because it'll. I don't want to getting back to PNC because fuck those guys. Let's just say it cost them about $10,000. I don't give a shit.
We're getting on to the time where we're going to go ahead and end this show anyway. Chris had to drop out because his battery was dying. So real quick, I'll for Chris, guys, make sure you're checking out What's Your Effing Binge. It can be found on wherever you can find quality podcasts, and of course you can find them on all social media. Just look up What's Your Effing Binge with Chris Rudder. And Serenity, you still with us? You've been quiet the whole show, on mute the whole time.
Yep, she's not with us. Oh, there she is.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening to you guys go off about Amazon and all this other, like, okay.
You had nothing to add? No experiences to add there?
Oh, I have a couple experiences, but like, Don, I don't think it's appropriate to really use that language on air.
Well, all right. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to get in contact with you?
Stalk one of those guys. You'll find me eventually.
Oh, don't stalk us. Come on. I do the stalking.
Oh,
We'll give it.
I have enough
information. You reach out to us. We'll give up our information. It just for a small fee. That's all.
No, that's it. Yeah. There's a surcharge.
right?
You can send us the questions for free, but her answers have a surcharge.
Exactly.
And Don, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can always still find episodes of the Life Radio Show, and you can find stuff about me on the life1069.com. You can follow me on Facebook at either Don Smith Comedy or the Life 1069. You can also find me on Twitter at Don Smith Comedy. I don't post a whole lot these days, but I do have a lot of film stuff coming in. I just got word today I was offered a new role and a new feature-length film being filmed in Indiana this summer. So I think that takes the number of feature films and TV shows to 5 for me this summer right now. So it's keep getting more and more stuff to do. I got booked on a couple of comedy shows coming up in the fall, so I'm going to be out there doing that. I also got asked to host to MC the events at Rumble Mountain this year in Ohio. Rumble Mountain motorcycle rally, which should be a hell of a lot of fun.
There you go.
MCing wet t-shirt contests and everything, so that'll be a new one on me, but I can do it as long as I'm not a contestant. I'm in.
So you're bringing all of us in on that, right?
Yeah. I'll let you guys know where it's at. You can come on out. It'll be a lot of fun. I've heard great things about Rumble Mountain. They didn't do one last year because of COVID, but I have a lot of friends that go there every year, and it's going to be an absolute blast.
Well, I mean, it can't go no worse than me and the blind guy that's always been on the show doing judging on a karaoke contest and feeding us free beer the whole time. I mean, come on,
Exactly. It's always a good time.
There you go. And of course, guys, if you enjoyed this episode in any capacity, hit the thumbs up button, share, comment, subscribe, and of course, check us out on all podcast links that you can find in the description down below in our link tree. For all quality podcasts, audio wise. I don't know. I'm fucking up the ending here because I'm still pissed off about supporting your local Walmart.
Small businesses like Walmart make this.
All businesses like Walmart. That's right. Help them break free from the clutches of Sam's Club.
Right.
And of course, we'll catch you next week on Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. Until then, guys, have a good one.